everybody. We're going back into your... Oh. Already off to a good start, Spyro. Good job. Good job.
It's just like everybody's morning, right? It's like the first thing you do is usually stupid, but nobody's around to see it.
You know what? Today, Spyro, what you just did show what kind of morning it was. Today, they were supposed to announce via leak some new Spyro information for the remake. It was supposed to be today.
Today for us. It won't be today for you.
Well, yeah, no. By the time you guys see this video, hopefully, by the time you guys see this video, official information will already be out. But from a leak, it was supposed to be like, oh, you guys will hear about the new announcement, blah, 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 this morning. And it didn't happen. And I'm very disappointed.
Nils? Or is that supposed to be like Niles?
I feel like they would have put an E, maybe.
Use the L2 and R2 buttons to get a good look.
So, I like how this game does it. Most of the dragons just say thanks or whatever.
Right.
But for the first batch of dragons, they do give you little hints. And it continues even on the later levels where they'll give you like, oh, by the way, if you try hard enough, you'll be able to like figure out harder puzzles kind of thing. So, because you never get upgrades or anything. Like, there's no, like, oh, and you got a new skill. You can finish every level in the first go-around. And some levels are harder to figure out, so you're like, oh, maybe I can get it later? And it's like, no, you can get it now. So they do kind of...
Devlin.
He had an itch on his wing. Yeah.
Did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
You know, it's kind of a weird thing that you don't get any upgrades, you don't get any more skills. I don't know if I like that or not.
Well, because it's like some you'll see them a little later. I'll point them out to you where you'll be like, how do you get that?
Yeah.
And it's like you assume like, oh, okay, maybe I can, like, maybe I get a new ability, because most games do give you like new abilities and new ways to do things, new ways to get around the level that you're in. But this game was literally like, no, you can do everything right off the bat.
I like that and I don't like that, right? I mean, I like it in the sense of if you're a kid playing it, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, I like the idea that what you learn, like these new skills, help kind of push the story further. You have some sort of development.
There we go. So you see those over there?
Yeah.
While you're, like, first time playing while you're older, you're like, how the hell do I get up there? And you, like, try your hardest, you can't get up there.
Right.
And you'll go through this level without ever really figuring it out, unless you try everything.
Yeah.
Some people might just leave, but what you're supposed to do is do that.
Right.
And a lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, like, will never figure it out, but some people, I'm sure, would just ignore it because it's, what do you do? No, I'm not going to be able to catch him from here. No, he already jumped over there. Oh well. I usually get him, like, right before I go through that tunnel, but the little bastard slipped out of my grasp. It's fine. He resets himself, I think. I don't remember. Yeah, he reset.
Yeah. Well, for me, I like the idea that, you know, it's part of like the hero's journey idea, the hero's quest, that you learn some stuff, right? And it matters, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the first installment of it. The idea is Spyro's young. That's why all the other dragons are huge compared to him. So I do, like, it doesn't bother me. And again, it's nice to be able to complete an entire level without having to go back.
Right.
There's, aside from nostalgia. Anyway, aside from that, like, there's no replay value in this, honestly. Like, you play it once. Well,
you could 100% it on your first try.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't need to have grown up with it or anything.
Yeah, so it's one of those games, like, you could beat it in one go. There's no replay value. It's Thor, and he's an old dragon.
I like how he's on all fours.
Because he's old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like that. It's like a nice little detail.
Man. Yeah. And he's actually the one that's supposed to announce that there's a thief. And he's all like freaking out. We can't hear it, but you guys can.
Yeah, we have it low so that it doesn't bleed into the mic, but...
Normally, if you have a good recording gear, bleeding doesn't matter because it'll always be synced. But for whatever reason, the Hauppauge sometimes will like jump a frame and the audio will stop being synced. So we just don't like it.
Yeah, it's just better for us. Not that the Hauppauge is bad, right?
Yeah, I got it.
But
yeah, no, it works for shorter videos, definitely, but it does jump a little bit. So things don't stay synced, especially if if you can hear the gameplay from the mic, which is a really, like, I use it sometimes to sync the game because it's so easy, but like 5 minutes later, like into the recording, it'll be slightly off and then get more so. Which happened, if you guys watched, in my Amnesia playthrough. There was a lot of times where you'll hear a slight echo, and then it'll stop because I resynced it in editing, which is really difficult and painful, and I hate doing it, so that's why...
Yeah, we were running into that problem with Last Guardian. With some of the earlier... Not earlier episodes. But some of the episodes of Last Guardian, that was one... Ones. Yeah, the longer ones, all of a sudden there was a frame rate issue, and... Those things will happen, and it's a pain in the ass, so definitely we prefer... Oh, you probably hear my dog, right?
Your dog's barking. Dog's barking up the stem.
Yeah. Maybe we'll post a picture of Frankie.
Yeah, no, he's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He gets excited.
He's a little neurotic. Like, he puts his toys in the same place in our backyard.
Like, if you give him...
The same spot.
Yeah, if you give him, like, one toy, he'll put it in the same spot every time. If you give him 5 toys, he'll always be like, this toy goes here every time. Yeah,
he has his... It's always the same spot. He doesn't really like to play. He's a greyhound, right? So they're like, you know...
They're cats.
The cats of the dog world, which... If you say that to him, he'll look at you like, no, I'm not.
My cat is more of a dog than he is.
That's true. Yeah, so we've had a few greyhounds, and I love greyhounds. They're great. Giant couch potatoes. But, like, if you get a greyhound thinking that it's going to be, like, you know, it's going to play fetch or whatever, it's going to do, like, traditional dog things, no.
And they don't take long walks. They take short walks. That's, like, they run in spurts. They're not work dogs.
No. I mean, every dog is a little different, but in general, you know, out of the 3 greyhounds I've had over the last 10, 11 years or so.
Yeah, just keep missing me, you son of a bitch. I mean,
they're great dogs, though, but... And it's, you know... He's a cat, essentially.
Like, even your other dogs, like... Your other dogs are more of a dog than he is.
He's more cat-like, but... Like, Luna would play, she'd run around.
Like, she ran, she played, and then she did her own thing. Like, she was a queen. She was definitely, like... I do as I please kind of thing.
Yeah, and you're all here to serve me. It was definitely that. Yeah. And, you know, she had a really rough life, of course, because all our dogs were adopted from the track and from rescue groups. So they've had rough lives, so that's awesome. So you give in, right? You give in.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that,
But Luna came to you older, off the track.
She was spoiled because she was a universal blood donor.
Yeah.
So she spent like a year or 2 in foster care and also donating her blood to other dogs. So she was used to being pampered by the time we got her. And of course, the way we treat our animals is we generally pamper the crap out of them.
A little bit too spoilery.
Yeah, so like it was very much like you try to feed her and she'd walk away.
Yeah.
And be like, come.
She'd like look at you like, excuse you? Come.
Yeah, over here. Right, it was like one of those things.
She had to be hand-fed. She wouldn't eat out of a dog bowl.
She would refuse to do it. It was amazing how spoiled she got.
She had to eat out of a spoon. She was a sweet girl, though, but, like, she's like, we could play this game. I won't eat. We can play that game if you like.
Yeah, I like, whenever we leave our other dog, Diablo, right?
He'd follow, he'd whimper.
He'd whimper, he'd miss us. But then Luna would already be walking away, just like...
She's like,
it's
all right.
like, fine, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just like, you know.
Like, all right, fine. You know.
Like, I didn't like you anyway. It's like that kind of thing, right? It's like, if I never see you again, fine, whatever. It was always that kind of attitude. But then she cared when she was happy to see you again.
Yeah, she loved you and cared about you, but, like, that's the game she played.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, well then, I guess nobody loves me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those things.
You're like, oh.
You're like, come on. Diablo was... He was a mush.
He was never on the track. He came...
He was way too big. He wasn't... He couldn't... He was faster than most dogs, but he wasn't great.
I skipped that
traditional. He wasn't traditional greyhound fast.
Yeah.
Because he was the biggest freaking greyhound you'll ever see in your life. I've
never seen an animal.
He was approaching Great Dane size.
Yeah. He definitely had a growth issue going on.
And here's the crazy thing. We tracked down his no pun intended, really didn't mean it that way, but we found out his genealogy. Mm-hmm. His father, we saw a picture of his father. He was bigger.
Like
he comes from
it's scary.
Yeah, so he had some like heart problems because he was so large that he had the same kind of genetic heart problem that a lot of large dogs get, which was, you know, terrifying, right? It was really horrific, but he was a good... Yeah, it was like, yeah. Oh, come on. That's just me. That was like Terrence and Phillip shit. But
go on.
They kind of have that Terrence and Phillip mouth flap.
Well, they did. Yeah. Well, I mean...
Well, they did.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That's just for PlayStation 1.
Yeah, graphics. Yeah.
Graphics. Yeah, this is PlayStation 1 we're playing.
Yeah. I mean, it handles great.
The HD version, but...
Yeah, but still, you know.
But yeah, no, Diablo, he was a big boy.
He was
Luna was a big girl.
She was almost as big as Frankie is.
Yeah, but that for a female... Oh, I did it again.
And he's more average size male, while Diablo was a horse.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I miss them. I really miss them.
See, these dragons look different.
Yeah.
They have different horns and coloration.
Yeah, they blend into the desert.
We're in a new area.
Yeah. So maybe we'll post a picture of Frankie.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He needs fans. He's a good boy.
He does. Luna has a Facebook page, actually.
But Frankie's definitely, like, the most needy of all of them.
He is. Like, you can tell with certain things that when you... Oh, you think you missed that one?
I did. I'm going back.
Oh, okay, sorry. When you adopt animals that were either, you know, abused or you know, in certain situations, it's like you can tell the effect that had, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, that's terrible. Like if they get, you know, they shake with certain things, or, you know, they're afraid of certain people, or whatever the case may have been, it's like, wow, it's really awful.
Yeah. So he definitely shows a lot of that.
Yeah. He
can't be alone. He can't handle certain noises or things. Like, he's very needy. He's a good boy. He's cute.
Yeah.
He's a brindle.
He is.
He's all different colors. He's so pretty.
He's like the most OCD dog.
He does have OCD.
He does. No, he really does.
I know.
It's amazing. Like, he won't freaking play, right? It's like, you're like, hey, Frankie, you want to get the toy? It's like,
and he'll look at you and be like, why did you move it?
That's my stuff. It's like, why did you take that?
Like, I put that there.
No, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's disappointing, right? Because it's not. It's just how he is.
To be fair, you've never had a dog other than a greyhound.
Well, I've had lots of...
So you can't be like...
I had friends, and I had friends who had dogs, right? But it's like...
I had friends
once. But it was like, I had friends who had dogs. So I grew up with dogs in an indirect sense.
Yeah.
So I knew kind of how they're supposed to be, right?
I grew up with all kinds of dogs.
Yeah.
So you with your purebred greyhounds freak me out.
Yeah.
Gunner.
Well done, Spyro.
There was,
the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your
I had friends who had dogs. More dogs than cats around here.
those enemies and collect the treasure.
I had a lot more friends with cats. Because, like, I don't know why. I had more friends with cats. And then I ended up having cats and dogs, because you need both in your life.
I had a friend, he's still, man, I've known him for over 20 years at this point, and I'm still in my 20s. And, so, I think we were 4 and I was 4 and he was 3. So I'm a year older. And he had like a dog that grew up with him, right? He's an only child. She was like born old, right? She just, and I mean that in the best way possible. She was just an old soul, and I forget when she passed away, but we were teenagers, I think. She was a great dog. She was such an understanding dog because we were kind of crazy kids. But she had the best old dog name, Maggie. Right? It was just like, here, Maggie, and she just, Black Lab or something like that.
Yeah.
She was a great dog. Dogs are fun.
Dogs are fun.
So we frequent this pet store, right? I'll be real quick.
Okay.
We frequent this pet store, and they have real dogs in there that kind of run around, and they're just loose, right?
Yeah. Because they're not up for adoption or anything. They're the owner.
Yeah. And they like to play, and so that's the only chance I get to actually play with a dog, right? And it's fun. And then, you come back home and you appreciate your own dog, obviously. But it is a different experience.
And you appreciate the fact that you're like, oh, I don't have to... I don't have this experience.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm glad that, like, he's not, like, come on, we gotta play, here's the ball, like, all the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that either.
My cat does that.
Yeah, so what Frankie will do, he just goes and sits with you, and you sit, and you have a good time, and you feed him and stuff. It's definitely more chill. It's definitely more like having a roommate.
Oh, yeah.
So, that was it.
Alright.
Wow, he had a pronounced eyebrow. Holy
yes,
shit.
he did.
Not that that's a bad thing.
Are you talking about my one brow? Alright, well, that's going to be it for today.
Alright, take care. I hope you enjoyed our dog stories. If not, then...
well, that sucks for you.
Oh, well. That's kind of a mean thing to end on, but whatever.
Bye.